ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ today is on Ang 727 of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in TILANG Rag by Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਤਿਲੰਗ ਬਾਣੀ ਭਗਤਾ ਕੀ ਕਬੀਰ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ वेद कतेब इफ्तरा भाई दिल का फिक्र न जाए टुक दम करारी जाओ करहो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए वेद कतेब इफ्तरा भाई दिल का फिक्र न जाए टुक दम करारी जाओ करहो हाजिर हजूर खुदाए ਬੰਦੇ ਖੋਜ ਦਿਲ ਹਰ ਰੋਜ਼ ਨਾ ਫਿਰ ਪਰੇਸ਼ਾਨੀ ਮਾਹੇ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਸਿਹਰ ਮੇਲਾ ਦਸਤਗੀਰੀ ਨਾਹੇ ਰਹਾਓ ਦਰੋਗ ਪੜ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੋਏ ਬੇਖਬਰ ਬਾਦ ਬਕਾਹੇ ਹੱਕ ਸੱਚ ਖਾਲਕ ਖਲਕ ਮਿਆਨੇ ਸਿਆਮ ਮੂਰਤ ਨਾਹੇ ਅਸਮਾਨ ਮਿਆਨੇ ਲਹੰਗ ਦਰਿਆ ਗੁਸਲ ਕਰਦਨ ਬੂਦ ਕਰ ਫਕਰ ਦਾਇਮ ਲਾਏ ਚਸ਼ਮੇ ਜਹ ਤਹ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਅੱਲਾਹ ਪਾਕੰ ਪਾਕ ਹੈ ਸਕ ਕਰੋ ਜੇ ਦੂਸਰ ਹੋਏ ਕਬੀਰ ਕਰਮ ਕਰੀਮ ਕਾ ओह करੈ जानै सोए अल्लाह पाकं पाक है सक करो जे दूसर होए कबीर कर्म करीम का ओह करੈ जानै सोए। गुरु प्यारी साध संगत जी, सतगुरु Maharaj Sahib Ji, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj blesses us today with this Shabad of Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji speaking to us through the TILANG Rag, and the Shabad begins TILANG Bani Bhagta Ki Kabeer Ji. The TILANG Rag, this is the Bani, the immortal divine words of the Bhagats, of the devotees of the Lord, and this Shabad is by Kabeer Ji. And the Shabad begins, Ik Oankar Satgur Prasad. There is one eternal creator, nourish and destroyer of this world, Vaheguru, who pervades through all, who is the light of all, and who is found through the Prasad, the grace of the Sat, the eternal Guru. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji begins this Shabad today, Ved Kateb Iftara Bhai Dil Ka Fikr Na Jaye. And the Uttanaka, the context which is attached to this Shabad, is that a Hindu priest, a Brahman, and a Qazi, a Muslim priest, were arguing over their religious scriptures, and they came to Bhagat Kabeer Ji and they said, whose religious scriptures are greater? So that is the story, that is the Uttanaka which is attached to this Shabad. But on a wider level, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is talking to us today, and is talking to all of those people who are arguing about the Lord, and who are arguing, this is better, no that is better, no these people can't do this, they cannot go here, and all of those little minute arguments and those differences which we are putting between our fellow human beings. Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is talking about all of them today in the Shabad. And Bhagat Kabeer Ji says, Ved Kateb Iftara Bhai. Ved meaning the Hindu scriptures, the Vedas. Kateb meaning the scriptures of Islam and the other Semitic scriptures, those of the Jews. And Bhai, oh brothers, notice that Bhagat Kabeer Ji doesn't call them by their respective religious titles as O Qazi, O Muslim priest, or O Brahman, O Hindu priest. No, Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji says Bhai, brothers, showing the brotherhood of mankind. The concept of the Shabbat is there within that one word Bhai, O brothers of mine. And the word iftara has been translated by many different scholars in many different ways. Iftara can mean a jungle, according to some scholars. To others it can mean an entrapment, an ensnarement. To others it can mean reading your own meaning into something. That's called iftara. And it also means to exaggerate something. And what Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji is saying is, Bhai, oh brothers, simply by sitting down and reading through these religious scriptures again and again, looking for differences, looking for arguments, looking for points to confront others with, dil ka fikr na jaye, the fikr, the anxiety, the stress which is upon your dil, upon your heart, na jaye, cannot depart, cannot leave. And iftara also means to do something under a false pretense. When you read these religious scriptures, Bhakt Kabir Ji is saying that you are not looking for the true essence. You're simply looking for more ammunition for your argument. And Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji says that this false pretense which you put on of reading the religious scriptures, by doing simply this, and by not understanding the true essence, the true concept of the scriptures, dil ka fikr na jaye, the fikr, the anxiety upon your heart cannot go, cannot jaye, cannot depart. If you get trapped in the prison, the cage, the jungle of simply debating over religious scriptures, Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji says this is not the way of removing that fikr, that anxiety, that stress within you. And if you're reading the religious scriptures in such a way that you're only looking for points of argument, Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji says that you have made that reading false in itself. Tuk dam karari. Tuk dam means even for a second of your dam, of your breath. Even for the tiniest amount of time. Karari jao karaho. Jao, if you were to, karaho, center yourself in karari, in this amazing state of samadhi, this complete state of concentration upon the Lord. Even for a second, even for an instant, Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji says, Hajir Hajur Khudai. You will realize that Khudai, Lord God, is Hajir Hajur. Hajir Hajur means ever present, with you at all times, inside you and all around you. And Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj says in Akal Ustat, in the Sri Dasam Granth, Ek chit jeh ik chin te ayo, kal phas ke beech na ayo. That person who meditates with full single-minded concentration, even for an instant, even for a second, who meditates upon the Lord, is not ensnared by the noose of death around his or her neck. And this is the same thing that Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji is telling us. That if you were to leave behind all of these false debates, all of these false pretenses, and you were to meditate upon the essence of the Lord, if you were to attach yourself in meditation upon Vaheguru, even for tukdam, even for the tiniest amount of time, you will have that realization. You will be blessed with that spiritual wisdom, that spiritual knowledge, that experience. Bande khoj dil har roj. Bande, notice this, that Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji is calling both of them from both faiths. Again, not O Hindu priest or O Muslim priest, but Bande, O human beings. And Bhakt Kabir Sahib Ji's words echo those of Sri Dasam. Again, Akal Ustat by Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Manas ki jaat sab hai, ek hai pehchan bo. Understand that all human beings are one, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj said. And so Bhakt Kabeer Sahib uses this word bande, O human beings. Khoj dil har roj. Khoj, search your dil, your heart. And if we ask when are we meant to do this, Bhakt Kabeer Sahib says har roj. Har means every, roj means day, every day. Bhagavad Ji explains to us, O human being, search your dil, your heart, every day. Search through and think, what have I done good today, what have I done bad today? Sit down, take out that time to truthfully evaluate your actions, your thoughts, and to truthfully evaluate what's going on in your life. Na phir paresani mahe. Na phir. And then you will not go again into paresani, into anxiety, and you will not wander in confusion and doubt. Bhagavad Ji says to us, O human beings, sit down, truthfully look within. That Lord God abides within you. Search for Him within you. And when you find Him, all of your confusion, all of your doubts will be removed. Eh jo duniya sihr mela. Bhakt Kabeer Sahib says, this jo duniya, this world is sihr mela. Sihr mela means just a magic funfair. Sihr mela means that type of a magic show where someone pulls a rabbit out of a hat, saws people in half, and other such things. And Bhakt Kabeer Sahib says, Dastagiri nahe. Dastagiri means to grab hold of something with your hand. There is nothing tangible that you can grab hold of, nothing eternal. Everything is temporary, everything is moving. This is all just a game. It's all just a magic show of the magician. The only thing eternal, the only thing which you can grab hold of is Akal Purukh, is Vaheguru. The only thing which is eternal is Vaheguru. All of this world, Bhagavad Ji says, is simply moving along, simply temporary, simply just a magical show. And that is what Bhakt Kabeer Sahib Ji is trying to make us understand today. That, oh human being, get attached to this world if you want to, but there is nothing to grab hold of. If you get attached to this world, you'll simply have to leave it one day. Attach yourself to that Lord God, who when you merge in with, there is no separation again. Rahul, pause and think about this. Darog pada khusi hoye. Darog means falsehood. Pada means by reading and going through on a negative search again and again. And we can look at this in two ways. Looking through our own religious scriptures for things through which we can denigrate others, negate others. From that falsehood, khusi hoye, we get happy. Bhakt Kabeer Sahib Ji is talking about us. That what do we do? We simply read through looking with falsehood. Not looking for the truth, not looking for the essence, but simply for more mud to sling at others. And this isn't simply on the level of two religious scholars, but in a worldly way. Bhakt Kabeer Sahib Ji is saying that we're always looking for more mud to sling at others. We're not looking for a positive way of affecting our own life, a positive way of sorting out our own life. We're always looking for mud to throw at others. And another meaning is that by calling other religions false, other faiths false, other religious scriptures false, and by looking through our own and saying, oh, ours is better than theirs, or those types of things, khusi hoye, that's where we get our happiness. But Bhakt Kabeer Sahib Ji says, Bekhabar baad bakahe. What are we doing? We are arguing about things which are bekhabar. Bekhabar means to not know of. And the argument we're having, bakahe, that we're speaking about, is about that which we haven't seen. We don't have the practical knowledge. We don't sit down and attach ourselves to the Lord. Instead, we decide to argue about Him. Instead of climbing over the garden wall and smelling the roses and enjoying the roses and picking them up in our hands, we decide to fight over them, but we haven't seen them. In the same way, O human being, you're engaging in all these arguments. Why don't you sit down and meditate and join with that Lord God Vaheguru, and then all of the arguments of your mind, all of your anxieties, all of your stress will depart. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji goes on to say, Hak Sach Khalak Khalak Myane, that eternally true, Hak Sach means that eternally true Lord God Vaheguru, who is the Khalak, who is the creator of this whole Khalak, this world, Myane, pervades through all of his creation. The Creator Lord is within all of the creation. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji saying, those who you're arguing with, those who you are pitting yourself against, Vaheguru Ji is pervading through them as well. And Bhagat Sahib Ji goes on to say, Syam Murat Nahe, that Lord God is not tied down to one murat, to one form. Syam meaning the dark-skinned one, as certain Hindu scriptures refer to Krishna Ji as the dark-skinned one. Bhagat Ji is saying that Vaheguru Ji is simply not just in that one form, but pervading through all of the creation, not tied down to one form. And Bhagat Ji goes on to say, Asman Myane Lahang Dariya, Gusal Kardan Bood. Asman, within the space within you. What is the space within you? The Dasam Dwar, the unseen 10th gate which is within you, that spiritual door. That 10th spiritual door, Myane, within that, Lahang Dariya. A Dariya means a river. A river, Lahang, flows through. Gusal Kardan Bood. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji is saying to us, take your bath, your ghusl, Kardan Bood, in this stream of nectar. And what is Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji talking about in this? That within you there is this river of nectar, the river of the Lord, of the name of the Lord. And it's already within you, it's flowing within you. You simply have to take your mind and bathe in that. And it's the same thing Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says in Japji Sahib. Sunaya manya man kita pao, antargat tirath mal nao. That the tirath, the place of pilgrimage, that purifying nectar is within you. Simply what do you have to do? Listen to the Guru's wisdom, accept it and practice it throughout your life, and that will be your cleansing bath. And Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji goes on to say, Kar phakar daim laye chasme. Kar phakar, phakar means selfless service. Daim, forever. And take this, phakar also means sense of humility. Take this sense of humility, this sense of nimarta, and this sense of selfless service, daim, into your life forever. Daim meaning forever. Laye chasme. And laye, put on your eyes the chasme, the glasses of spiritual wisdom and loving devotion. And what will you see? Bhagat Ji says, Jah taha mawjood, you will see that Jah taha meaning in all places, here and there, within me and all around me, mawjood, that Vaheguru is ever present. If you were to simply accept the words of the Guru, if you were to attach yourself into the selfless service and wear those glasses which give you the vision of loving wisdom and loving devotion, Allah Pakang Pak hai, that Allah, that Ram, that Vaheguru, that Lord God is Pakang Pak, the purest of the pure. Sak karo je dusar hoye. Sak, I would only doubt, karo means to only do, je dusar hoye, if there was any other like Vaheguru, but there is no other. As Guru Nanak Dev Ji tells us, Ik Oankar, there is only one eternal Lord God Vaheguru. There is no other like him. Kabeer, Bhagat Kabeer Sahib Ji says, Karm Kareem Ka, that through the karm, through the grace of that Kareem, that merciful Lord, oh kare janna soe. Oh kare, those who are blessed with the grace of the Lord, janna soe, only they understand, only they janna, only they know this mystery, only they have realized that Lord God Vaheguru is pervading through all. Those who are blessed with His grace, with His mercy. And overall this Shabad is telling us, give up this external throwing of mud at each other and clean the mud which is within you. Then you will bathe in that pool of nectar, within that light which abides within each and every one of us. Allah paakang paaka hai, sak karo je dusar hoye, Kabeer karm Kareem ka, oh kare janna soye. Vaheguru ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki Fateh.